lot of people had questions.
Steve McNair.
The rise and the fall.
But what really happened?
The toughest man in the NFL.
A warrior, a leader, a legend. Steve McNair, former Titans quarterback.
Section 1. The Rise of Air McNair. Hook and career climb. The screen is dark. Then breaking news flashes. July 4th, 2009. Steve McNair is gone. A murder. A tragedy.
Former Tennessee Titan Steve McNair has died. He was shot to death.
The world stunned. Fans in disbelief. Teammates in tears. But before the end, there was a beginning. Before the silence, there were roars. Before tragedy, there was triumph. He was Air McNair. The flashback begins in Mount Olive, Mississippi, a small town, a tough place. Poverty was everywhere. Life was not easy, jobs were scarce, opportunities were rare. But in the dirt fields of Mississippi, a boy threw a football, and with every throw, a dream grew stronger. Steve McNair's talent was raw, his arm was powerful, his legs were fast. He could escape tackles. He could create magic. Coaches saw it. Neighbors saw it. Everyone knew the boy was special. He went to Alcorn State University. Not a big football powerhouse, not the SEC, not the Big Ten, but a small, historically black college. There, Steve McNair became a legend. At Alcorn State, the numbers were unreal. Over 16,000 passing yards, 119 touchdowns. He broke records that seemed untouchable. He carried his team. He carried his school. He carried the pride of HBCUs across the nation. Crowds packed small stadiums just to watch him play. Media called him Air McNair. He was unstoppable. He could throw a 60-yard bomb. He could break 3 tackles and still score. He was a one-man highlight reel. The Heisman buzz began. No small school quarterback had ever truly threatened the Heisman, but Steve McNair did. Reporters traveled to Mississippi just to see him. They called him a phenomenon. They called him the future. In 1995, the NFL came calling. The Houston Oilers made him the 3rd overall pick. It was historic. A black quarterback drafted that high was rare. The old stereotypes still lingered. People still doubted, could a black quarterback lead a franchise? Could Steve McNair survive the NFL? The pressure was immense. The spotlight was blinding. But McNair never flinched. The early years were not easy. He rode the bench. Critics whispered. Some said he was not ready. Others said he could never master the position. The weight of old biases hung over him, but every day he worked. Every snap he grew. When he got his chance, he proved them wrong. He had a cannon arm. He had a runner's strength. He could take hits and keep going. He was fearless. He was powerful. He was different. Fans began to believe. Teammates began to trust. Coaches began to see that this was no ordinary quarterback. This was a new kind of quarterback. Steve McNair wasn't just breaking tackles. He was breaking barriers. He wasn't just winning games. He was rewriting expectations. The small-town boy from Mississippi had climbed to the biggest stage. From dirt roads to roaring crowds, from doubt to destiny, from Mount Olive to the NFL. The rise of Air McNair was underway, but greatness has a price. And every legend carries both light and shadow. Section 2. Titans, Pain and Glory. Career peak and persona. The Houston Oilers moved. A new city, a new identity. And at the center of it all was Steve McNair. The franchise became the Tennessee Titans, and McNair became their face. Nashville had never seen football like this. A city that once had no team now had a leader. A quarterback built for the fight. McNair carried not just the ball, but the weight of a franchise. His style was unlike anyone else. He was tough. He was mobile. He was fearless. He played through pain most players would sit out. Broken fingers, sprained ankles, back injuries. He endured it all. They called him a warrior. Oh, wait. He could take a hit that should have ended a game. Then he would get up, line up, and throw a perfect pass. Fans respected that. Teammates loved that. Coaches trusted that. McNair's peak came at the turn of the millennium. January 2000, Super Bowl 24. The Tennessee Titans against the St. Louis Rams. The world watched. The Titans trailed. Final seconds. McNair scrambled, fought off defenders, launched a pass to Kevin Dyson. Dyson stretched for the end zone. He was 1 yard short. time expired. The Titans lost. That moment broke hearts, but it also defined McNair. He had taken an expansion team from nothing to the edge of a championship. Nashville never forgot. In 2003, McNair reached the height of his career. He was named NFL MVP. He shared the honor with Peyton Manning, one a superstar of precision, the other a warrior of grit. Together, they stood as equals. For McNair, it was proof. He had silenced doubters. He had joined the elite. Pro Bowl appearances followed, but the numbers only told part of the story. What mattered most was respect. Respect from teammates who saw his courage. Respect from opponents who felt his toughness. Respect from a league that knew he played the hardest position in the hardest way. Yet behind the glory was pain. McNair's body was breaking. Every Sunday he looked like a hero. Every Monday he paid the price. Ice packs, treatments, surgeries. His toughness became his burden. He never complained. He just kept going. Off the field, McNair was quiet, humble, grounded. Fans called him Air McNair, but in private he was soft-spoken. He didn't seek headlines. He didn't chase fame. He let his play speak. The contrast was sharp. On Sundays, he was a gladiator. On Mondays, he was a man in pain. His body battered, his spirit tested. Football had given him glory, but football was also taking a toll. McNair never backed down. He kept fighting. Every throw, every drive, every comeback showed his will. He wasn't just a quarterback, he was the embodiment of toughness. His teammates believed in him. His city adored him. To Nashville, Steve McNair was more than a player. He was a symbol, a reminder that resilience mattered, that courage could inspire, that heroes could come from anywhere. But the story of Air McNair was not just about victories. It was about sacrifice. The triumph was clear. The cost was hidden. And with each season, that cost grew heavier. The legend of McNair was soaring, but the man beneath the helmet was quietly suffering. Section 3. Shadows and Legacy. Tragedy and Aftermath. By 2008, Steve McNair's body had given all it could. The pain had piled up. The surgeries, the hits, the toll of a warrior's life. Retirement came, quiet, almost reluctant. He still loved the game, but the game had taken its share from him. Life after football was not easy. For years, he had lived by routine, meetings, practices, games. Now the structure was gone. He searched for purpose. He invested in businesses, restaurants, ventures in his hometown, ways to give back. He wanted to stay close to football, to teach, to mentor, but the transition was heavy. Many athletes struggle. McNair was no different. At home, he was a father, 4 sons. He loved them deeply. He wanted to be present. He wanted to give them more than he had growing up. To him, family was a second chance at legacy. Yet life was complicated. Fame brought pressure. Relationships strained. The man admired on Sundays carried quiet struggles the public never saw. Still, in his community, McNair was known for generosity. He gave quietly. He helped families in need. He returned to Mississippi often, making sure his hometown knew he hadn't forgotten. To many, he was not just a quarterback. He was proof that greatness could rise from humble soil. Then came July 4th, 2009, a summer holiday, a day of fireworks. But the news cut like thunder. Steve McNair found dead, shot multiple times. His girlfriend, Sahel Kazemi, also dead. Police called it a murder-suicide. The story shook the nation. Fans could not believe it. Teammates were devastated. Family was crushed. The media swarmed. Questions rose. How could a man so admired fall into such tragedy? Headlines painted the story in pieces. Some saw scandal. Others saw heartbreak. But in the end, the truth was brutal. A life of triumph ended in violence. The NFL paused. A giant was gone. McNair was only 36. He had been a symbol of toughness, a leader of men, a pioneer for black quarterbacks in an era still heavy with doubt. His death left a silence that could not be filled. Teammates spoke of his courage. Coaches remembered his grit. Fans lit candles outside stadiums. Nashville wept. Mississippi mourned. The league lost more than a player. It lost a warrior who had played through pain, who had carried teams, who had inspired millions. His legacy became layered. He was the quarterback who nearly delivered a Super Bowl, the MVP who stood beside Peyton Manning, the pioneer who helped open doors for the next generation of black quarterbacks. Yet he was also a man whose final chapter left haunting questions. People remembered the hits he took, the comebacks he led, the way he never gave up, no matter the injury, no matter the score. To many, McNair represented the price of greatness. He gave everything to football. In the end, maybe too much. But beyond the tragedy, there is still triumph. His sons carry his name. His community carries his memory. His fans carry his story. For them, Air McNair never truly fell. He still soars in the hearts of those who watched him play. Closing narration. Steve McNair lived like he played, fearlessly, with heart. His story is triumph and tragedy, legend and loss. Air McNair will always fly high, even in memory.